First and foremost, let me say that please look up the definition of racism or racist before you start calling me that. And second of all, the endangered species thing, that's a figure of speech, my friend. I understand what a species is. I understand what the human race is. Okay, we're all the same race. We're just different ethnicities. Okay, so just let me get that out of the way. I guess you guys thought you were superior because you thought that you knew some basic scientific knowledge that's common that they teach in, I don't know, fourth grade probably now. Anyway, the problem with integration is that black people have forgotten to rely and depend on themselves. Every other group of people does this. Hispanics do this, Asians do this, whites do this, and any other subgroup of people do this. Indians, Arabs, whatever you want to call them. Black people don't do this because we forgot after integration that we actually had to do and create things of our own. Take a look at the shoes you're wearing, the house you're in, the clothes you're wearing, your PlayStation, your TV, the nails in your wall, your light bulbs, your guitar, your magazines, your floor paneling, your refrigerator, all these things. Has a black person made or created any of these things that are in your common household today? Integration did not make everything equal. That is an illusion. I mean, to this day, people are still fighting for basic civil rights. So if you're under the misconception that integration made things equal because you're allowed to take a shit next to a white person, then you are misinformed. Also, I'd like to know when I said that integration was fine as long as we're being accepted into the white culture. I don't recall ever saying that in any of my videos, but it's that way of thinking that is the problem. But please show me where I actually said that, because I don't ever remember saying that. As far as my culture and heritage, I've traced my heritage back as far as to the 1700s. And anyone can do this. You can look at the actual slavery documents. Most African Americans in this country are only 4 generations removed from slavery. That means your great grandmother was someone's slave. My great grandmother DNA test was actually of West African descent. We're currently doing the rest in my family, though we don't put too much stock in those things. It's just interesting to us. And yes, you are an American, but you've just recently been allowed to be called one, by the way. You asked me what is black culture. To answer that question, that would just take too long. I mean, read a history book. Even white people can know the distinctions between white culture, European culture, black culture, Hispanic culture, and Asian culture. There's critical historical differences. There are pastimes and histories that are completely different. That's what makes it a culture. Geographical location is not the main factor of defining culture, and ethnicity does play a role in culture. If you pick up your phone, you probably have to choose 1 for English and 2 for Spanish. That would mean that Hispanics have an influence on the culture. Okay, so culture is affected by race, or should I say ethnicity, since we are all the same race, Mr. Scientist. You two scientists. You guys made a few comments on integration. This is a melting pot and blah blah. Please show me this integration melting pot. I must be missing something, because when I look around, everything here is purely European dominated. By the way, Hispanics take on the culture from a lot of aspects from Spain, and Spain is in Europe, which makes it European. That's why Spaniards and Europeans, Caucasoids, Asiatics are very similar culturally in that area. As far as white dominance, I mean, again, we're the Indians, okay? We're the Tasmanians. These people have been completely wiped out, and they did the same exact thing that black people are doing. They're exterminated. Indians in a few hundred years, they won't exist anymore. They've been whitewashed so bad. The few that are left are trying to hold on to the last few remnants of their culture, but they know. The Tasmanians are completely gone. The descendants of them, when the white men would prostitute and rape the women there, they're basically genetically Caucasian, and they don't remember any of their cultural heritage whatsoever. Yes, it's historical fact, and it has happened more than twice in history. So yes, that can happen. Statements about a child, it's being having a good life because he can take pieces of everyone else's culture. That would be good if that actually did happen. Okay, but you see, if you really look at the United States, it is very segregated. Okay, yeah, there are some nice people, but that statements like that are annoying because it's like being attacked by 300 wolves, but there's one nice wolf that's not attacking you, and you want to focus on the one nice wolf while the other wolves are just eating you up alive. Pointless statement. As far as my thoughts on interracial dating, please don't take certain videos, content from another video, and then insert into your response. Okay, that comment that I made was particularly for another person. In a response video to her, as far as the guilt trip, she made a quote stating that African American women go through this guilt trip, and I was saying, hey, African American men experience the same thing. That is not a unique thing towards females. That is what that comment was for. So please keep things in the proper context. As far as my thoughts on it, the reason why I have these thoughts on it is because things are not equal. If the world was equal, if things were equal, then I wouldn't have this ideology. Again, I used to think the way you did until I saw how the real world was, and I saw that no matter where black people are worldwide, globally, we are at the bottom end of the totem pole, and nobody is rolling over dying for black people. Asians didn't march alongside of you for civil rights. Hispanics didn't march alongside of you for civil rights. That's why it's in the history books, because we're African American people were the only people to ever do that in the history of mankind, because we were enslaved, and not only did we fight for our civil rights, but we fought for the civil rights of our enslavers and for any other ethnic group in this country. No other ethnic group has fought and rode over and died, wept and bled and was raped and pillaged like we were, and then to turn around and then fight for those same civil rights for people who did not support us. That is the significance of that. America doesn't have anything unique to interracial dating. It has happened everywhere since ancient times, beginning of time, whatever. The problem is when things are not equal, there will always be a dominant side, and that is the problem. And until things are equal, then I'll always have a problem with it. It has nothing to do with being racist. It has to do with self-preservation of your people and your culture. If you really take a look around you and analyze things, you will see if you can get past your PlayStation and your anime, which by the way is overrated, is nothing more than Hollywood. Maybe one good anime comes out for the whole year. If you don't believe me, go take a trip to South America. That was the largest dropping zone for Africans being brought over for slavery. Now they're designated into these little sections. Many of them are half-breed and mixed and whatever due to white dominance. And the ones that are particularly darker skin or black are in the, what they call the barrios. And they live a very shitty life. And you can go all over the world, and no matter where black people are, that's the condition that they're in. I haven't watched the second video yet, so I'll respond to whatever comments that are in there. But I hope to have a more intelligent debate or discussion. That's what I prefer. None of this superiority, I know everything, I'm above you type nonsense. A real discussion about the issues in the black community. And yes, there is a black community. There won't be one for very much longer.